Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So here we can start our class. Our strength is around 43. So I hope we are pretty much fine. Yes, with the strength. So now let me share my screen with you guys to continue further. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Yes. Yes. So let me start with this while sharing with you. Okay. Yes. So yesterday we have covered this topic so far. So I hope everybody got clarity on this. So if still anybody insists me to redo the same work, please do let me know. But I'm assuming like everybody got so much clarity because I have given so much time on functions, and this topic is quite important. Well, while you do any coding or maybe while you proceed with anything else. Okay. So still do let me know if you still anybody has any doubt. Please raise your hand, or maybe you can ping over over the chat so that we can see. If still you do not have any doubt, then I'm assuming like somebody has to do something. Okay, clear, sir. Thank you so much. 528, I got your acknowledgement. Thank you so much. And people are still pinging on. Yep, yep. That's great. That's really great. I'm getting good signs from you guys. Yes. So, in the last class, I have talked about recursion. As I said, recursion is very important. And, in interview, definitely you will get one question from the recursion. Okay. So either you will get factorial, either you will get Fibonacci, either I don't know from where it comes, but yeah, I'm pretty much sure like these are few topics and few, you can say like very few topics which are recurrently occurring in interview questions as well as in various exams as well. So I'm pretty much sure even in your exam, if I'm gonna create paper, I'm going to give you some paper, then definitely I will ask you to create some function, or maybe you can work on recursion. Okay. So in the last class I have covered factorial. Okay. So today what I want from you, I don't know means how many of you are quite aware about it, or I don't know means whether you want me to do some coding stuff in front of you, don't know, but yeah, I want to give a clarity on Fibonacci series, and I'm gonna write one code in front of you guys of how we will get Fibonacci series using recursion. Okay. So first of all, let me ask you guys, how many of you are aware about what exactly the Fibonacci sequence or Fibonacci series? Guys, I just wanted to hear from you guys. If anybody are quite aware about what is Fibonacci series, do let me know. Okay. I assume like nobody knows. Okay. If you want me to assume that, then I'm good with go. Now, let me just show you this Fibonacci series. A Fibonacci sequence is the integer sequence of 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Okay, that's wrong. 516 has said something there, but that is wrong. And here the concept is the first two terms are 0 and 1, then all the other terms are need to be obtained by adding first two terms. So suppose here I am writing like this. Let's say I just wanted to give you here some definition and how exactly we can create Fibonacci series. So you can see here I am writing like this. So 0 and 1 are the first two terms. Now I need to create second term, sorry, third term. How I gonna create that? So 0 plus 1 I will do, and I will get what I will get. I will get 1. Okay. Now what is my Fibonacci series now? So you can see here my Fibonacci series is 0, 1, comma 1. So this one is my new Fibonacci series. Now what would be the next term which I will be getting? So here I need to write 1 plus 1 which will I'm going to get 2. That means now my Fibonacci series is going to be 0, comma 1, comma 1, comma 2. Okay. Now what would be my sequence? Next sequence. Now this time my sequence would be nothing but 1 plus 2. Now I am going to get, in this manner, I am going to get 3. Okay. So now 3 is my next sequence. So now my Fibonacci series would be 0, comma 0, comma, sorry, my bad, 1, comma 1, comma 2, comma, what would be the next? 3. Now, what is my next number? Should be here. Should I ask from you guys? Can somebody tell what would be my next number after 3? Somebody is pinging. Yes. Thank you so much. It's a 5. Yes. So in this manner, we can create our Fibonacci series 5, and then, last two terms are 3 and 5. So it would be 8. So this is how our Fibonacci sequence is. So basically I am defining here the first two terms are 0 and 1, and all other terms are need to be obtained by, if I am gonna add preceding two terms. Okay. And you can also, define one more definition with this is, nth term is the sum of n minus 1th and n minus 2th term. Okay. So this the definition which you can also create. Okay. Now let me move on to further. Now with this we know what exactly Fibonacci series. Now let us code for Fibonacci series. Okay. So let me share you my notebook once again. Okay, here we go. Now I'm gonna write here Fibonacci series using recursion. Please do let me know if somebody has any doubt here. So I'm gonna code in front of you, so be with me and have some patience how exactly sir is about to do and what exactly sir is going to do. Okay. So first of all, you will get two things. What exactly two things? So you need to know what how many terms you want, how many sequence till that you want. So that means how many terms you want. First you need to know what exactly I want, how many, just let me comment out here, how many terms till we want Fibonacci sequence. What does that mean is, suppose I am gonna write is my terms is, let me write in this manner. Let me write in n terms is equal to something, I don't know what exactly it is, and I'm gonna give a input like n term should be 3. Let's say I'm gonna write here m term is equal to 3. Then my Fibonacci series would be what? 0, comma 1, comma 1. Will it be fine? If I'm gonna write my n term should be my n term, let's say my n term should be 5, then what would be my sequence should be printing here? 0, 1, 1. What would be the next? 2 and 3. Tell me if I am wrong. And then my n term would be is equal to, let's say, 8. Then all things which we were talk in our session, we would be getting that. And then 8. Okay. So I guess 3 3. Okay, one more thing is pending, it's a 13. Okay. Now this is how we will pass the n term. So n term should be passed by you. Okay. So here I'm gonna write n terms. Let's say I'm writing n term. So for the time being, let me write in 5. Okay. We will see later on how exactly we can change it. Now we need to check, first of all we need to check whether this, we need to check whether this term is valid or not. Suppose somebody says n term is equal to 0, then is it valid or not? No, it's not valid. So that is how you need to think. Okay, what exactly you need to write. So even though you can mention as in 0 as well. Now I need to check this n term value, so I will be writing if else loop to check this. If, let me write in this manner, I know you guys are not quite aware about if else, but here you can see how exactly I'm writing. If n terms is less than equal to, let's say 0, then if it is 0, then you will get 0 only. You will get what? You will get 0 or what? So 0 is my first term. 0, in if it is 0 or less than, then we will be not printing anything. Then we have to write what? We have to write, please, here, please enter a positive integer. Here I would be writing positive integer. Okay. Now, this I have written a message to the one who those people who have written I need n term is equal to 0. Okay. Now, if I will write here, instead of this, if I will write my, let's say my n term is something else. So I should be write that in else loop, and I would be writing like this, print, here I need my Fibonacci series. So I should be writing Fibonacci series. So if somebody is entering positive integer, then definitely I have to show them. Okay. Now I'm writing in this manner. So I'm writing in this manner. Fibonacci, sorry, Fibonacci series. So I'm just writing just how exactly my Fibonacci sequence will look like. Okay, now this I have written. Now here I need to write everything in, what, so I need to print all the Fibonacci sequence till that term, the term which I am defining here. Okay, and that is being initialized till 5. So I am writing here for, let's say I'm writing for I in, I'm defining a range. So here you can define, you can write 5 because you want just 5 sequence. So I'm writing here is, let me write n term. N term, why I'm writing, maybe in, maybe later on the program I want to know, print all 6 sequence of the Fibonacci. Okay, so I will just modify here 6, and then my n term will taking as in 6. So let me write here 5 for the time being, and I want n term. Let's say n term. Now here, what I want here, I have written n terms here, and here I am writing n terms. It should be, I am mentioning right now n terms. So I, for I in range n terms, let's say. Okay, now if I will get this, I need to print all the sequence, whatever sequence I am getting in Fibonacci. Okay, so how I'm gonna do that? I need to call somewhere recursion. Okay, which is going to print my all the sequence. So I am going to call here, let's say, recursion function. Recursion, I have mentioned function. Does that function I have created or not? So everybody knows I haven't created. Okay, I haven't created this. Now, does anybody can guess like what exactly I can pass an argument? Because this is recursion function, I haven't defined yet. So somebody can ping me and somebody said can say what exactly should I mention, what should I pass here? Somebody can ping and please do let me know. You know why I'm doing this coding? For you guys, so that you guys can get clarity over argument. How exactly, sir? Okay, yes, thank you so much, 5b9. Anybody else who wanted to give some attempt? No. Okay, as you can see here, I am writing I, so my I should vary. Okay, so I need to pass here I only. Got my point? Now, though I'm calling recursion function from this place, but I haven't defined any recursion function yet, so I will get, error. So to avoid that, so I need to define my recursion function here. Okay, so recursion function I have mentioned here. So how I will define my recursion function? First, I need to write def, and then I need to write this. So this is how you need to define recursion function. Okay, so yeah, now I have written like this. Now here I need to code what exactly I need to write here. Recursion function for Fabdoki actually, but yeah, that's fine. Now I need to pass I here, but I am passing from here. Let me take it as an n here. Let me take it as, because here how I am gonna read, n is equal to nothing but the I. Okay. Now here once I define recursion function, what code I need to write here? So first you need to think, if, okay, n is less than equal to 1, then what I am supposed to get? Then we need to return what? We need to return what? We need to return n. Okay. Why? Suppose I am getting n is equal to 1. Let's say, okay, you are passing here 1. Okay, I am getting here nothing but I am getting here n is equal to 1. So that means you want only one term. Okay, if I want only one term, then what would be my recursion sequence? Tell me what would be my recursion sequence. So I would be getting here 1 and n is equal to 1. That means 1 is less than equal to 1. That means I need to return 1. So we are getting 1. Okay, that means we are getting 1. Okay, so that is also the sequence, one of the sequence. Okay, if that is not the case, then I should be writing else as well. In else, what should I write? Okay, let's say it is not 1 or less than equal to 1. Okay, then what should be present in else? It should be, we can write it like the way I have defined definition as well is, I should be calling this function. Okay, and here I will be writing n minus 1 plus same function, and I am writing n minus 2. That's it. Think about it, only one line I have written to print entire Fibonacci series. Think, I haven't done here any magic, but yeah, I'm pretty much sure my code will be fine, and I will be getting the output which I wanted to get. Okay, so this is what. So let me just run this code. Let me see what exactly the output I'm getting. See, I have written 5 term. Okay, here I have mentioned 5 term. I would be getting 5, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let me write the n term is equal to 1. What would be the output? Output would be what? 0. Okay, and let me write it 2 is 2 term, then it should be 0 and 1. Yeah, we are getting 0 and 1. Okay, let me write, instead of 2, let me write 8. See, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So think about it, how much, basically effort is required in this. Just you need to understand what exactly my input has to be, and what exactly the definition behind the Fibonacci series. That's it. What have you done? You have done nothing. You have just called here one function, and the function called itself for n minus 1 and for another time n minus 2. That's it. We have done nothing apart from this. So that is what I wanted to cover in today's class, because you guys should able to understand what exactly, why exactly sir want us to do this kind of stuff. Why I'm keep on emphasizing, you need to know, you need to learn what exactly Fibonacci series, what exactly factorial, how exactly we need to you know find out. So this is how you can write your code, and think about it, the code. So see, I have written in front of you. So how exactly I have manipulated by myself, how exactly n terms are, what exactly the value should be. So it should be plus plus of previous term. So this is how I have just created. That's it. I have done nothing. Okay, so I hope you guys got better clarity. I hope so. So let me just copy this entire thing to my slide, because I haven't done this before in my slides. So let me write it in front of you. I guess this should be fine. Yes, I guess this is pretty much fine. Now we can go ahead and move on. Now this is fine, fair enough. I'm going to tell you this we want Fibonacci series. I have already done this. Now this is fine. Yep. So now I guess everybody got pretty much clarity on this topic, and you guys are able to correlate what exactly the recursion, and how exactly we need to code for recursion, and how exactly you need to call function by itself. Okay, now with this we are closing function topic, and now we are keep on moving modules. This is also one of the another topic which is quite important, and we need to know what comes in modules and what not. Okay, so module, when we use the module, when we start a Python program, it only has access to a basic functions and classes. Okay, when we suppose start our Python program, so generally what happens, we can access int, dictionary, length, sum, range. These are the basic, you can say, class, or maybe you can say function, which we can easily use. But module we import generally when we need some more, more functions, or maybe some more classes we wanted to use, which is already not there in basic Python programming. Okay, basic, when I say, like, when you just start you launch your Python code, your editor, you can say, or maybe IDE, then you do not get everything in one go. You have to keep on importing few things, so that you can use that library, or maybe you can use the function which are present in the module. Okay, so here I have written a file containing set of functions which we need to include in our application. So that is how we can define, and that module contain additional functionality. Okay, so that you need to think, like, where exactly we use module, where exactly we need this kind of stuff. Okay, so when we talk about this, basically what, when we talk about module, okay, then how exactly we can correlate this, because you have used many times a lot many things. You have, sometimes you are going to import math library, okay, math module, you can say. Sometimes you are gonna use, what, there are multiple modules. I can't recall all the modules, but I'm pretty much sure, like, there are many more modules. NLTK is one of the modules which, when you work on text, text analytic, then you will have to import, and there are many lot. So in this manner you require that, but that is all already available in Python. So we generally do what, we generally import, we write one statement import, and that's it. But suppose you want to build your own functions, and you wanted to use your functions which you have already created, then how exactly you are going to do? So that is I am going to cover in today's class, so that you guys are, you guys can have much more confidence on modules, and you guys must, you know you guys can know how exactly I should be using modules in our coding. Okay, so that all the modules, or maybe all the functions which you wanted to bundle into one complete function, or maybe in one Python program, then later on the program you can use all those functions which you have already bundled into one program. Okay, so if still you guys are not able to, get my point, then let me go one by one in this manner. So we need to create module. I have written here, first we need to create module. So I have written def, which is nothing but the function, and then I am writing first module. So I have created one function, you can say, like, I have created one function, that's it. Okay, now here I am writing hello, this is my first module which is named as, okay, morning, let's say morning. Okay, now we need to save this code file, this definition of the function, into some file which is named as mymodule.py. Okay, maybe I am writing mymodule.py, you can write your module.py, it depends on you how exactly you are going to save it. Okay, now once you save that, then you have to use that particular module in your, code. How exactly are you going to use that? Then I have written here how to use a module. Now to use this first module we need to write use import. Okay, so I'm writing import to, for import for what, to tell Python, please load my previous module, or load my this module. Okay, so I'm writing here import, and this file has been saved with my module, so I'm writing my import my module, and inside that there is a function called as first module, so I wanted to call that first module. So here I am writing Praveen. Inside that I am passing an argument as an Praveen, so it will go to the mod name. Here it will write Praveen, and here we will be getting one print statement which says hello, this is my first module which is named as Praveen. Okay, So in this manner, you can create a module and you can use your module. Now, let me show you how exactly you need to code that. Okay. So let me first share my, Python notebook with you guys. I'm gonna share this. Okay. Now, first, as I said, I need to create one function. When I say I need to create one function with the name of, with the name of mod name. So let me share my, one notebook. Okay. Let me share you this. Here I am writing, see, this already I have told you, this is first module. Okay. Let me increase the, font size here. Now I guess everybody would be able to see here. Now I have defined function with the name of first module, and then I have mentioned here mod name. Then you can see here I am writing print, and here inside that I want to write, hello, this is my first module which is named as what, which is named as mod name. So mod name I am going to pass in my, when I will import this particular module. Okay. So I am saving this module as in my module.py. I have saved it. Now I wanted to use this module in my further coding. Okay. So let me go to my, notebook, Jupyter notebook. Now here I need to write what? I need to write import what was the name of the Python program which I gave? My underscore module.py. So I'm writing import my underscore module. Okay. I need to import this. Once I have done this, then I need to write what? Here I need to write my module, and then what I have written inside the code is first module. Then here I should be writing my module, as I have already imported this, my module dot first module. Okay. And here I am passing, let's say, Bhavna, name of Bhavna. Okay. Now, will I be supposed to get output or not? I should be getting the output. Let's see. See, do you think I have done this anywhere here? No. I have just written one Python code where I have defined this. I have written one print statement which has to be like this. Now I am just importing that module and calling the function which has already been defined there, and I am passing Bhavna name as to the function which I have already mentioned in the my module, okay, Python file, and here I am getting Bhavna as well. So this is how you can get, you can create your all functions which you wanted to import later on. Okay. So though I have showed you only one function is present there, that is why, means, I have ran this code. Now we can move further and we can learn more into the modules. Now we have covered this so far. Now I am gonna go with this. Now, how exactly we know variables in modules? So here modules can contain functions, you can say variables like dictionary, list, objects, and many more. So here let me create what exactly I have created here. I have created one dictionary. I don't know how many of you have forgotten or how many of you have remembered this, but you know this is the dictionary in which everything is present as in key value. Okay. So when I say everything is present in key value, then you need to understand that that is nothing but the dictionary. Okay. So dictionary is where we have mentioned key and along with their values. So here our dictionary name is citizen, and I am writing here the key as in name and their value is Gaurav, key as in age and their value is 28. The state is the key and their value is Mumbai. So here we have, defined, or you can say I have created one dictionary. Now we can import the module named as my module and access the citizen dictionary. Okay, so we need to write that, we need to write this dictionary into the same code which I have earlier used, and you need to then run whether this particular dictionary is present or not. So let me copy this statement from here, and let me go back to the, the code which I was showing you. Yeah, here. Okay, let me go back to here. Here, let me write it. Citizen, I have written this. I would be getting some error here, though I am not writing in the same fashion. Yes, yes. Why I am getting like this? Because I have given extra space here. That is why I am getting like this. So here I should be writing like this, and here I should be writing like this. So you can see here, enter, enter, and again enter. Yes. So this is what our, dictionary is present here. Now this is present where my module.py. Okay, control save. Let me save it. Okay, and I need to run this. Okay, so how I am gonna run this? Let me first check whether we would be able to access that dictionary or not. How exactly we need to access? So let me share you my this presentation first. How exactly we need to use that? So let's say we have imported that module, my module. Okay, now I want to access the citizen dictionary. Okay, so what all things I need to mention here? Here I have to write in this fashion. In the manner it is being written like this. I need to import the my module. Okay, then in my module I wanted to, access this citizen. Citizen is what? Citizen is dictionary. Okay, so let me go back to the, so I wanted to share you this. Yes, you can see here I am getting error. Why I am getting error? Tell me. Anybody can tell why I am getting this error? Any guess? Any guess? Guys, why I am getting this error? Does anybody can tell why I am getting this error? Tell me. Do you think I am getting error? Why I am getting this error? So you just need to again look into my module. Let me share my presentation. Can you please look into this and again think about it? Why I am getting? I have written here, use import to tell Python to load module. Okay, and I have written the same code. Okay, inside this, I have written like this. Okay, but I haven't ran this particular code. That is why I am getting error. So for def and this, till this, I have ran this code. That is why I was not getting the error. In import, you did not write C. Is it? In import, I haven't written C. Where it is? No, 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 no. It's okay. That is not the problem. Yeah, that is the variable which I just created for the time being. So don't worry. That is not the case. Okay. So actually, the thing is you need to run this. So I have placed this module here only. Okay, my module. In my module, I need to run. How exactly I will run this? So I don't know which screen are you able to see that. I guess you are able to see my Python code, okay, which is mentioned here. Now I need to run here, which one? My module once. So how are we going to run that? So do you think, do you have somebody has any idea how I'm gonna run this? Because that is not nothing. It's just a Python program. That's what I'm saying. It's just a Python program. Can you please, somebody can say how exactly I can run this? Can somebody point out, please? No, nobody would like to, run this. Let me see if I can run here. So you can see here my module.py I'm getting here. Let me run this. I'm getting any error. Yes, I'm getting an error. I'm writing here Python. I'm getting error here. How do I run this? Can somebody tell how exactly I need to run this? Somebody is pinging. Thank you so much for the help, sir. Yes, 586. Can you please tell me how exactly I should run? What I am missing here? It's fine. I haven't done anything. That's what I want actually to run my file, one of the file. How exactly should I run? Can somebody tell how exactly should I run? Okay. So nobody would be interesting, or nobody is in having any interest to run that. Okay. So for you guys, I just wanted to say one thing. In the beginning only, when while explaining this, my module .py, I said this is the Python program. Okay. I said this is the Python program. Now, when I said this is the Python program, that means you need to run this Python program somewhere, maybe in your, either IDE, or maybe you can run through this Jupyter notebook. But nobody has listened my, statement which I have gave in the very beginning when I showed you this, entire screen, like how exactly you need to run. So I said, first of all, whenever you do something, okay, you have to run that module. So I haven't ran here any module so far. Okay. So that is why I am getting an error. Okay. So now I am going to run the same file. Let me run in front of you guys. Mm, yes. So let me share you my this screen where exactly I wanted to run. So I have just pointed out my module.py. Okay, I'm trying to open here. Yes, it is mentioned here. Now it is getting error invalid character in identifier. What exactly the invalid character? This one, let's say, or maybe this one. Let's say, yeah, this is fine. I guess there should be no warning. I'm just saving this. I'm gonna run this. Yes, I have done with a running statement. Now I should move on to the Jupyter notebook again. Let me see. See here earlier it was showing like there is my module has no attribute citizen. Okay, so this was error. Now let me run again. Does I am getting same thing? Yes, I am getting same thing. Why we are getting same thing? Because my module has been ran, okay, and citizen is there, and inside citizen I have this state which is nothing but the Mumbai, and let me import the same statement. Guys, let me share you this screen. Okay, so once again, this is what went wrong. Guys, I need tomorrow, I need answer from you guys, any of you, why I am not able to run this. I need from you guys why exactly I'm not able to run this. And this time I'm not gonna run because I came to know how exactly what exactly mistake which we have done. Okay, so just keep this in your mind and do let me know why exactly I am getting error. Okay, so tomorrow I will explain why I am getting error. Before that, I want you to understand why I am getting error, because I was able to run this, but why I was not able to run this. Okay, so you need to know, you need to recall where exactly dictionary is being called and when exactly dictionary is being called, so that we can correlate which one will come first, which one will come next. Okay, and inside that function, okay, this is the my module is nothing but my one of the program. Inside that I have created one more function, and inside that function I have this citizen as in one variable. So this is what the hint which I wanted to give you. That's it. So tomorrow you have to come up with the solution. Sir, where exactly you went wrong? Okay, so we will quickly move forward to the next topic. naming a module. Okay, so naming a module, name can be given to the module as you like, but the file extension should be .py. Okay, that is what when I said like you have written dictionary but you haven't ran your program. Okay, so you need to you need to be very sure while defining any module, or maybe inside module you have written a lot of functions. So while saving, that has to be saved on .py extension. Okay, make sure that particular extension should be there. Okay, because that is entire file, and that file, you know with the name of that file, you wanted to import entire module. Once you import entire module, then inside that file, what all functions are present inside the file, you can use one by one, you can call one by one. Okay, so now if we want to rename it, we can create an alias when we import a module using a keyword. Okay, so alias we can use as as. Okay, so here let me use this import my module. I am writing here as alias name as that's it. I'm doing nothing here, just I am mentioning the my module alias as now in I wanted to call citizen. Why I'm calling this citizen? Because inside that module I have written one dictionary, and inside dictionary there is one key value. Basically it's a key which is named as state, and their value is what I have mentioned here in before. The value is nothing but the Mumbai. Okay, and when you will print here, print C, you will get output what? You will get output as in Mumbai. Okay, now built-in module. So as I said, built-in module, there are several built-in module which we can use when we want to. Okay, that is available in the Python itself, so we do not need to import. Okay, so how exactly I will perform that? So let us use the platform module which is present in you know in my Python. So let me share my another screen, basically notebook, and there I can perform the same stuff. I just need to write these 3 lines of code, that's it, so that we can come to know which platform we are currently using. So let me go to my Jupyter notebook, and there let me perform one of the code. Here I'm gonna write like this. So that import should be, it should be small I, and I have written platform, and now print has to be also small, so I have written like this. Okay, I'm importing one of the built-in module which is nothing but the platform, and inside platform I just wanted to use system function which is already defined in that platform file. Okay, so let me run this, let me see what exactly. So as I am running and I'm showing you everything on Windows, so it is coming up Windows. If you guys are using Mac, then it will come up with a Mac, or maybe if somebody is using Linux, then it will come up with the Linux. So that is how we can, I haven't done any coding for platform. It was already present in, in the Python. So you don't need to worry about when you are using, built-in functionality. Okay, you are just need to worry when you are trying to import your own things, where you have developed your own functions. Okay, and you have created one file for that. With this, we can go ahead and we can move on with, another topic. So built-in module, as I said, there is another module which is named as directory. Okay, so let me print your what exactly the directory present for my code. All the code which I am writing right away, or maybe the file which is, I am using for you guys to showcase where exactly in which module that file is present. So I need to just print that. So I'm gonna again write import, and I'm importing again platform. Then I'm using directory as in what? As in function which is available in the platform file, and then I'm writing platform. So platform, why I'm writing? Because it's a Windows. So you need to know what exactly the platform is. And then I wanted to just print X. So it will give me where exactly what exactly the directory is. See, you can see here all the directories. So it has built-in, it has norm version, parse release file, Node, OS, platform, Python revision, Python on version, Python version tuple, release, subprocess, sys, all the directories, present for these is here. And maybe if somebody are using, Mac, then they will get different directory. If somebody is using Linux, then they will get different directory. Okay. So guys, this please take care of this. And let me just finish one more thing. So here, as I mentioned, directive function, dir function can be used on all modules. Okay. Now, I wanted to know in platform what all the modules are there. So I am just passing here in directory, I am passing platform. That's it. Okay. Now, here I am writing import from the module. We can import only parts of a module using from keyword. Okay. So how are we gonna use that? So let's say I have written one Python program. Inside Python program, I have written this statement. Okay, this much, first module. And then I have written this one, citizen. Okay. Now inside citizen, I have written same thing. Now I wanted to use citizen of this. Okay. So how I'm gonna import this? So I will write here import only the dictionary. So if I wanted to import only dictionary, then how I'm gonna use? I will call the name of this module, or maybe where exactly this entire code is being written, the file basically. So the file name is what? File name is my module, and then I need to import citizen. So here I am writing from my module import citizen. My module is what? My module is nothing but the my entire file .py file, and from there I am importing citizen. If I will import citizen, then I don't need to call my module again. I can just write print and then citizen age. That's it. So if we would not have mentioned import, let's say we would not have mentioned import citizen, let's say this line or this statement is not present, then we must have to write like this, my module dot citizen, because my module is what? My module is our entire file where exactly the function is being written and dictionary is already mentioned. Okay. So there you have to call that and then you have to write citizen. But if you are already using import citizen, that means you already have citizen in your hand, and then you just need to call what? Citizen, and then you just pass age. That means you need to pass the key, you will get the value. So you will get value here what? You will get value as in 28. Okay. So that's how basically our work is. Okay. So next time when you will come, you have to come with the solution which I have given to you right away. I need to know what error I am getting and why I am getting that error. So it's a basically normal dictionary funda which you need to know. Okay. And what went wrong with me. Okay. Now with this we can close our session. Okay. If anybody has any doubt, do let me know tomorrow. Okay. We will take that session and then we'll start. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for listening to me.